I get asked by a lot of people on social media who are starting off with their singing, where should I start? Now, personally, for me, if I was to start again, I wouldn't worry so much about doing all these YouTube warm ups, these workouts, and doing all these different things. I would focus on just answering this one question: how does it feel like to change pitch only? Because I found personally, at least maybe in a scale, if I can chip away and just execute this better, my technique and my singing gets better. Now, today I want to explain why this is an incredibly important question for most beginners. And once you understand this idea, really any exercise, any scale can become a tool to help you develop your voice. Now, real quick, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Ivan. I'm a voice teacher who works with students from all around the world over Zoom. And really on this channel, my goal is to make learning how to sing as simple and as easy as possible. And so if that is up your lane, consider subscribing wherever you're joining me from. And if you're interested in improving your voice with less of the headaches, check out some links down in the description. I've got some private one-on-ones over Zoom and also some self-study programs that you can work through in a step 1, step 2, step 3 manner. If you want to inspire our next episode, let me know down in the comments below what you'd like me to tackle next. Okay, so why should someone who's starting off, why should they focus on this question of how does it feel like to change pitch only? I mean, why don't you just give me a specific exercise or a specific, technique, Ivan, and you just do it? And the reason why is I think for a lot of people starting off, their main challenge won't be resolved from just running through a lot of different scales, a lot of different exercises mindlessly. Rather, they need to seek to go a bit deeper and understand what that exercise is actually teaching them. And so whilst there are a lot of muscles involved in singing, from the muscles that are involved in your breathing to maybe the muscles that help you articulate. I know a lot of people will focus on tongue tension or they'll focus on like jaw tension. There are these very specific muscles that I'm interested in called the CT muscles. And these are the muscles that when they engage, they stretch and they thin out the vocal folds and they allow you to change pitch, kind of like a rubber band. And basically, if you can learn to engage them at will, you'd be able to sing a bit higher. Now, whilst this is very, very simple in theory, I find that for a lot of singers who are starting off, it can feel very, very challenging to just engage these muscles. Often we end up engaging a lot of other muscles. We might engage the muscles that push through a lot more air. We might kind of tighten our jaw. We might tighten our tongue. We might even try to tighten on the core collage and clamp down on this, simply because we don't know how to isolate and separate just the muscles that stretch and thin out the vocal folds. And so this is where this initial question comes in. Because if I can chip away at least in a scale, how do I go up and down the scale without changing anything else? No changes in, the vowel, no changes in the volume, the pressure of the voice, maybe even the posture. This allows me to feel how it is to stretch and just isolate those CT muscles. And so in a sense, really any scale or any exercise can teach you this. Because whether you're doing maybe a scale like this, nay, 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 maybe doing on a no, 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 or maybe doing a longer scale, nay, 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 nay. Whilst they all have maybe a specific reason or rationale for why they would work, notice how they're all generally asking you to do the same thing. Can I just change pitch? I don't change the way I'm saying the word. I don't change the way, I'm hitting the end. I don't try to add more pressure, less pressure. I'm just trying to change pitch. And if you go into all of these exercises, knowing what you're looking for, all of a sudden you're going to see a lot more progress. Now, one thing that's really important to know here is some exercises will just fit you a bit better and they'll work a bit easier. And this is why often when I'm working with a student for the very first time, our goal is just to find or build that first scale that allows you to change pitch without anything else happening. Because once you can do it, then you can start to translate to different scales. You can translate that correct technique to other scales. Now, I do talk about this more in depth in episode 222, so make sure to check that out if you're interested in this. Now, the final question here is, but Ivan, how does this even apply in a song? Like, why do we even need to know how to just change pitch without anything else changing? Because in a song, singers will go loud, they'll go soft. It's not always going to be the same volume. They might even kind of open their mouth or do all these kind of different things. Now, you're right. In a song, many things will change. You're not always going to sing at the same volume. Sometimes you might do these extra things because it sounds cooler. The reason why we work on this fundamental skill of can we change pitch only, and in a scale, we're just trying to execute this again and again and again, is such that in a song, when we do decide to kind of experiment and shake things up, We're doing this because it is a choice and not a crutch. Anyway, I hope this episode is useful. If it is, please leave a 5-star review. This really means the world to me. If you're interested in working with me, I've got some links down in the description once again. Apart from that, my name is Ivan. I'm your voice teacher. I'll see you next week. Take care.